Come on there, though.
These headphones are mine
Turn you
right
up.
here. Okay.
Talk about rolling with it. See, we're just gonna roll with it.
Exactly. All right, Charlie, you
Charlie
pick.
thought he had like 10 minutes to rest, but no rest.
Look at how.
Good morning, by the way.
Good morning.
Thanks for stopping by
Thank
today.
you for having me, guys.
Dude, usually celebrities who have a lot of hits just say, like, no, we're not going in there.
That's.
Thank you so much.
That's because they have egos and I don't have an ego.
How did you get rid of that ego?
I just.
Who keeps you grounded?
My parents. Every time I like show signs of sort of like feeling myself way too much, my mom is like, "Yo, remember like when we couldn't afford tomato sauce?"
Do you? Okay, this will be a truth. You don't get to pick.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you really have a story about like not being able to afford something like tomato sauce?
Yeah, we used to. One of my favorite meals growing up was spaghetti and ketchup. Because,
oh my God!
In from like 1996 to about 1999. That's I only ate chicken fingers from Barnacle Bill's in Rumson, New Jersey.
Barnacle Bill's.
Oh my God!
A nice pub restaurant that still is there. And thank you. They gave me some room. You guys do have room temperature water,
Right? You have to mix the hot and the cold.
Thank you.
We're very fancy here.
That's lovely. And yeah, I've ate that pretty much every day of my life, and it carried over when my dad started to get a little bit of money. I still ate the spaghetti and ketchup.
Because you loved it at that point.
Well, because at that point I was like so used to it, and then my mom was like, "No, this is what was that? Prego? Not that. What's below Prego?
Ragu.
Ragu. I love how that's their reputation.
So you didn't like that, or you like ketchup over ragu?
I loved ketchup over ragu.
That's because you're used to it.
Yeah, I still didn't mess with ragu,
Yeah.
but then I came to like different things like protein and chickens.
There you go.
And meats. Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like me in college. I had to drink Old Swill Light. And then when I got a job, I was like, I'm getting Bud Light. And I found I missed Old Swill Light. Because you get used to it.
You know, I went to college in Boston. I never drank beer. I just don't like beer. It upsets my stomach. Is that weird?
So where'd you used to drink?
Where'd you go?
I mean, I'm sure you didn't drink it until you're 21.
Oh yeah, I didn't drink it until I was 21. I actually
Right.
didn't. Because I'm not. I just.
Because you're a good boy.
I'm a good boy.
Are you
yeah.
being serious? You really did not drink before you were 21?
Of course I'm lying. but,
Okay, shoot. I'll have to think of another dare because all my dares were Jay, moon someone else.
That's it?
Would you go over and moon
No!
No mooning.
I love how this was a dare for me and it has nothing to do with you. I should have been like, Charlie, go dance around naked in Providence Square, wherever that place is.
Would you do that?
No, it's too cold. I mean, maybe.
Well, I mean, yeah, you don't
I
want
don't hate being naked.
You don't want to do it cold. I gotta get more on this because
Yeah.
I don't hate being naked either.
Yeah.
Was your family like, we just walk around and have a shower?
No. No, it was more like me, especially during the summer season. I
Yeah.
don't know. We had this house by the ocean, and literally I wouldn't even shower for weeks. I would just jump in the salty ocean because I thought that's fine. I'll bring the Suave or whatever that terrible.
Prel.
I used to call conditioner cream rinse.
Yes!
Ugh.
That's what it used
And
to
it
be
used
called.
to be strawberries and cream, and I used to like go in the ocean with my strawberries and cream. And
That sounds like Clairol Herbal Essence.
yo, I smelled whack. It was really bad.
This is a very revealing beginning to an interview.
This is gonna be the best interview ever.
My record label's gonna love this. We
I
talked
know.
about oceans and mooning. And
Yeah, and smelling
nothing
funky.
about music.
That would be Taylor Swift. We've heard of her. Wireless Dreams, 92 Pro FM 806. She actually sometimes resides in this state, Charlie.
Really?
Yeah,
So that new indie artist Taylor Swift.
Yeah, we heard
Yeah.
about her. Charlie Puth is joining us this morning.
You're buds with her.
Kinda. I don't think I'm like buds with anybody. I just know her.
She tells you secrets.
She tells me.
Could you get her on the phone right now if you tried?
Probably not. It's very early. It's like,
But you have her number.
You have her number? Like you could get her?
yeah, but like only yeah.
I know you said
It doesn't
you
mean
were-
she's gonna pick up though.
Well, right.
She's
And
probably
you,
like, screw this kid. I don't want to.
and you wouldn't want to bother her because then you're out.
Yeah.
Then your
Could you
number gets
text her
blocked.
though?
I could
Texting is always pretty innocent, right?
I could probably text one of those new emojis. You get like an update from on the iPhone. Now you get like a bunch of like weird.
Text her a taco. See how it's
Oh wait,
taco?
I don't think you can. I don't think there is a taco.
There's no tacos
on the new iPhone one. Yeah.
On the new one,
They came out with that?
Yeah.
I know people were complaining about it.
I guarantee
He
you,
knows that. You don't.
she'll text one of the new ones back. And
Yeah,
I think it's a
probably.
middle finger.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's in there too.
I met her at the where did I meet her? I met her at after the VMAs. Republic, the record label, was having an after party, and I kind of just like went up with like I was eating do you know what In-N-Out Burger is?
Oh yeah.
Do I?
Yes.
It's
I've
really.
heard.
And I was completely done with this party. I was like, I was over talking. Everybody was super nice there, but I just didn't feel like, I didn't feel like talking anymore. So I decided to go outside by myself. My driver was right there, and I was like, I'm just gonna get a hamburger. And then my friend came up to me and was like, Taylor's in there with all of her squad.
Squad.
And I was like, oh, and he was like, you're probably the only, I was my producer friends, because I'm technically a record producer too, but then I became an artist and I didn't abandon those guys, but they were like, you're the only person in this circle right now who could probably just go up to Taylor and say hi to her. And I was like, alright, so I threw my hamburger down and, rejoiced, and I was like, I'm gonna go do it. And then I walked I was 2 huge security guards, and they were like, sir, and I was like, no. And then I just like walked.
No way!
I walked right past them. And then, luckily, and I was like, oh god, if I don't see someone I know, I'm gonna be like, dragged out of this thing. And luckily I saw my friend Haley Steinfeld, who is an actress and a new artist, and she was like, oh, come over. I'm like, oh, thank God. And so I sat down, and I found myself in the middle of all these models and Taylor, and it was very
That
nice.
must have sucked.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah.
But Taylor was actually very sweet. She talked to me for a good 15 minutes about James Taylor.
Oh.
Believe it or not, because
Wow,
she was
that's
she
nice.
was named after James Taylor, and I know every single James Taylor song. And she claims that she knows every single James Taylor song, and she was horribly, horribly mistaken. It was in her wildest dreams.
Nice. Did you guys do a little throwdown battle with James Taylor songs?
No, I was like, I know every bad James Taylor song too, and she was like, no, I know every bad James Taylor song, and then it started to be, and then like her friends were like, Taylor, do you want another drink? She was like, hold on a second, I know Flag. Flag was not a good album. Do you know anything on Flag? And it was like, that's the record with Up on a Roof on it, isn't it? And she was like, how do you know everything about James Taylor? I'm the only one who, and then it became this like back and forth bicker thing.
Now you have.
That's your
That's
connection.
it. You are connected
Yeah.
to her. She will never forget you.
Well, I feel bad. She's asked me to play at her, come in at her concert. She brings in all these artists for her
Yep.
shows, and every time she's asked me, I've been in I either have been in Europe or a place that's too far away, or just far away enough that I couldn't make it in time.
Yeah.
You'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
You know, I ought to have a life where they say, oh, I couldn't make it to sing with Taylor Swift because I was in Europe.
Yeah.
That's
I was in France. I got a big baguette, and I was like waving it around, be like, "Hi, I'm in France. I'm in France."
Hanging out with David Guetta over in France.
Oh my God, I love you.
David Guetta is so funny, man. He texted me like, okay, I'm not name dropping. I'm just like, I don't know what else to talk about.
But this is your circle.
This is my circle. He always texts me with a lot of exclamation points and emojis.
You know who loves David Guetta? Is the guy standing right behind you.
Oh,
He
yeah.
does like David Guetta.
Yes.
We were talking about it.
He
Yeah,
does the
big time.
electronica dance
No.
jam.
Ah.
We have, he has
Friday.
his
Name
own
of the
show
show.
on Friday night.
Yeah.
Listen, Charlie and I were already talking about that too.
Listen,
He's been
we're
on it
way,
before.
We were way ahead of this. We're best friends now.
Look at that.
We're
See?
gonna go get a jelly donut after this.
We both went to college in Boston down the street from each other. I mean, come on.
Oh my god.
You should have.
So much Emerson and so much like Newberry Street. And I spent not a lot of time in some of these classes. But
I was going to say, I heard what you two were talking about doing.
what were we talking about?
You were talking about hitting it.
Oh, well, because there were a lot of single girls at Emerson.
I love that it just comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
I mean, you weren't very. That wasn't like a mystery novel the way you just. Like, who should be talking about? No, that was a great place to for me to find girlfriends, but for a short amount of time because I don't think I'm a very good boyfriend, so they never really.
Are you still not a very good boyfriend?
No, I mean I'm not
You're just-
I try to be a good boyfriend, but I'm always traveling. And
Right.
And when they need you, it's like, sorry, I'm in Europe.
Exactly, and they like almost don't believe it. And I'm like taking a picture with like the Eiffel Tower. And I'm like, no, I really am. And
Jay says that too. Sorry, I'm in Cranston. I can't make it. You know, a lot of people ask the same questions to musicians. You know, what are your influences? Is there anything? I'm sure you get tired of hearing those. Is there anything you wished people would ask about your music?
Damn, that's a good question. More about
Oh man, I'm not gonna hear the end of it.
No, it was a good question. Because for me, like, I write all my own stuff and I produce it all in my bedroom too. So it's not like I don't want people to think that like, oh, Atlantic Records definitely paid this kid to sing on this Fast and Furious song. Like, why would they do that? I was like nobody a year ago. So, I mean, I wrote this from the heart. I wrote it for Paul Walker, and I just want people to know that I'm really ask me more about like the writing process and stuff like that, rather than hey, you were hanging out with Selena Gomez, are you dating? It's like no, I'm back to music time.
So you wrote it specifically for Paul Walker. Did you know him, or were you just so moved by the tragedy?
I was so moved by the tragedy, and it hit close to home for me too, because I experienced, like, my best friend passed away in a car accident, the same exact way that Paul passed away. So, and it happened in Boston, and in 2012, and on Mass Ave, and I'm only saying all these details because we're kind of close there. Yeah. And I remember the moment I found out, I texted his phone. I don't know why I did that. I went right to, like, I just instinctually just, like, texted him.
Almost like hoping you got an answer.
Yeah, like, almost hoping that, like, that Facebook post that his sister just wrote wasn't real. And I was like, don't tell me that post was real. And then, obviously he didn't respond. And it always stuck with me, like, for 2 years. Why did I do that? So in 2014, in July, when I was in the studio, and they came in and was like, hey, can you try writing for the movie? We have to change the end of the movie, and we're going to do this montage for Paul Walker. I was like, well, I got, like, scared. I was like, I'm this new writer, and I didn't know Paul Walker. I knew what happened, but I honestly didn't even watch, that many Fast and Furious movies, so how am I going to pull this off? And I just, like, thought of, what I did, what I felt when my friend passed away. And I literally pretended to be Vin Diesel in that moment. I pretended to, what would Vin text Paul Walker when he found out when his friend passed away the same way. And that was, I thought of the sentence in my head, I'll tell you all about my life when I see you again. But my life didn't sound good. So I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. And the first couple chords, I just like sat down and played these chords. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. That's all I had. And then I was like, what's the first part going to be? And I was like, well, what I was exactly feeling that day was the longest day in the world. It literally felt like the longest day in the world. And I actually think it was the longest day on earth that day. So I was like thinking, it's been a long day without you, my friend. And friend rhymes with again. And I was like, oh my God, that's insane.
Done.
Yeah.
And then I came in, and then I had every executive after those 10 minutes of writing that record come into that studio and literally like, play it again, play it again, play it again. But I wrote it for someone else to sing. I wrote it for a bunch of artists to try singing, and some of those versions have leaked online. But they told me I was going to sing it, and that's when I was like, oh, I guess I'm going to be an artist now, not just a producer.
I have such chills right now. That's such a mood. Every time I hear the song now, I'm going to probably start crying.
We got a break.
It's a great story.
Where like you're like 20 something. How do you know about Marvin Gaye? How are you into Motown? What's the deal?
Yeah, James Taylor, Marvin Gaye.
Yeah, so my mom, like, I didn't start listening to pop music until I was like 13, music of like my time. So I was only listening to like James Taylor and Carole King and like the Carpenters like up until I was literally 13. I still listen to them, but I didn't even know what pop music was. I just listened to oldies, and my mom showed me like the folky Americana side, and my dad showed me the Luther Vandross, Teddy Pendergrass. My dad is not a black man, but he loves black people music, so I think he thinks he's a soul brother sometimes. you know, I got a nice musical spectrum, like a nice smorgasbord of stuff, like the really good R&B chords, and like the really good pop melodies of you know, the singer-songwriter generation.
And Meghan Trainor was the perfect person to pair with.
Yeah, that was really fun. Like I actually met her. I think it was like almost today a year ago. I just went up to her at a party, and I just like something clicked when I saw her. And
what is it with you walking up to celebrities like that? You just
I just have a lot of courage.
You just do it.
I'm just very friendly. I'm a friendly Charlie.
Yeah.
You are a friendly Charlie.
Yeah.
Who is next? I can't wait to find out who.
Me
would
too.
Yeah, I got some songs that I wrote for some other artists that are coming out next
Cool.
year. That'll be really cool. But yeah, Megan was a perfect fit for that song.
Yeah, it really was.
Well, we've certainly enjoyed our time with you this morning, Charlie.
I could talk to you for like 10 more hours.
I'm very sad that I'm leaving. I want a donut though.
You can have
I'm
a
kind of
donut.
hungry. I haven't eaten yet.
I know we put you to work quite a bit this last hour.
I mentioned food a lot on this show. I hope you didn't mind.
No.
No, we talk about.
We
food
talk
all the
about,
time.
we order breakfast on the air. It's,
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Now, our studio audience. I hope you all had a good time.
Yay.
Woo!
Really for me.
They did. They did. Well, thanks again.
Yeah, thank you guys for having
We're
me.
ready to roll.
And we want to make sure everybody gets One Call Away is available now. Pre-order 9-Track Mind. And that's coming out in January.
That's coming out in January 29th,
And look for you on the AMAs.
yeah, look for me on there.
Oh yeah, the AMAs.
Oh, yeah.
And you apparently come through here a little bit since you went to school here. Do you come back up northeast a lot? or-
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I
Swing by.
This is my.
See if you can get Lou to bring you back again.
Yeah, come on,
Swing
Lou.
in.
Bring me back.
Lou says if there's breakfast involved, he's
Yes.
He's in.
Thank you.
Now the only thing you got to participate in is the jokes. We do these bad jokes at the end of the
Yes.
show. Explain to Charlie what he has to do here.
So Gio does the joke setup. Jay and I compete to see who can get the punchline.
Okay, I'm very excited about this. I like something.
Okay.
You're good. You're in.
These are all pretty easy. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Where do cows go to dance?
And the meatball.
Yes.
What? How do you know that?
Oh, man.
Oh,
What's the pickle capital of the world?
the pickle capital?
Delaware.
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 That should be it.
Duluth.
It's Philadelphia.
Ah!
That's not funny. Delaware is so much more
Oh, the
funny.
jokes aren't supposed to be funny.
Delaware is so much better though.
What is the fruitiest lesson?
What the fruitiest lesson? Astronomy.
Raisins.
History, because it's full of dates.
Come on.
That's not even a real fruit.
And how do you,
It's the suckiest fruit ever.
cut a
sucks.
wave in half? How do you cut a wave in half?
You raw,
slice-
You
slice and dice.
shell it.
Surf, you
With a
surf.
seesaw, silly.
Time wins.
That was hard.
It was.
Dill pickle is Delaware is so much better than Philadelphia.